Hollyhocks are beautiful plants with large showy flowers that grace tall stalks. They are biennials, which means they complete their biological life cycle in 2 years. So if I plant them from seed this year, they are not going to bloom this year, but they will bloom next year, and then they will produce seed and die. In some climates, hollyhocks act like perennial flowers that come back year after year, but in most climates, they're biennials. When hollyhocks are only young plants, they do require regular watering, but once they're established, they're pretty much drought tolerant. So they are perfect plants to grow here in North Texas Zone 8A, where we get dry and hot summers. So they're pretty low maintenance plants, but they do get some fungal diseases like rust and also insects like chewing on their flowers and leaves. To treat hollyhocks from rust, they can simply be sprayed with fungicide in the spring and they should be okay. Hollyhocks are great at attracting bees, hummingbirds, and other pollinators, and they are also host plants for painted lady butterfly caterpillars. Hollyhocks are suitable to grow in zones 3 to 9. We're in zone 8A in the middle of June, and today I'm going to start some hollyhock from seed. I filled up a few containers with some good quality potting soil. The seedlings need all those nutrients to be healthy from the very beginning. Seeds can be started indoors 9 weeks before the last frost date, or they can be started outside a week before the last frost date. But right now we're in June, so I can start all these seeds outdoors. Hollyhocks have a long taproot, so I'm using taller containers so that the root would have space to grow. Hollyhocks do require rich, well-drained soil, but here in our backyard we have mostly heavy clay soil, and they are doing just fine. The soil in the containers is already moist, so I don't need to water it again. I'm just going to take a couple of seeds and plant them about 1/4 of an inch deep, and then cover them back with the soil and water them after that to make sure that the seeds are in contact with the soil and stay moist the whole time. And I'm going to plant about 2 seeds in each container. Now that we planted our seeds, I'm going to place the containers in a spot that gets morning sun and afternoon shade so that the soil does not dry out too fast and the seeds don't go dry. Today is July 18th, and this is what our hollyhocks look like. Some of the seedlings died due to drought and me forgetting to water them, so I had to plant additional seeds. Today is December 10th, and our hollyhocks are still in containers. We've had a couple of nights so far where the temperature went down to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. I did not cover these containers, didn't do anything to them, and they survived just fine. I also have been fertilizing them with a liquid fish fertilizer that I use for my whole garden, and they're looking great, but they should not stay in these containers. So today I'm going to find spots for them where they can go into the ground. Hollyhocks look better when they're planted in large groups together in a row, and I'm going to pick a spot along the fence line so the hollyhocks would be away from the rest of the garden and not blocking the view, since they can get up to 7 feet tall. And I'm gonna plant them in 2 different locations. This one gets morning sun and afternoon shade, and the other location will get morning shade and afternoon sun, and I would like to see how they will perform in those conditions. I'm going to plant hollyhocks a little bit away from the fence to give them a little space because they get quite wide. On the bottom of the hole, I'm going to add some Trifecta Plus fertilizer, but it can be any fertilizer, all-purpose fertilizer you have. It can be granular, and then later, while they're growing, I'll be fertilizing them with liquid fish fertilizer throughout a drip irrigation. So I'm going to take it out of the container. The roots look nice, they're not bound, and it's important for the hollyhocks not to be root bound. And I'll set it at the same depth that it was in the container, and simply pull all the soil back around the root ball and make sure that I tuck the soil in well to remove all the air pockets. And then I'll simply water, then I won't be doing anything else really. The fence will be protecting the hollyhock from extreme cold fronts, and I'll make sure to keep the soil moist, and that's about all. Today is March 17th, and this is our hollyhocks that I planted right here in one row, all different colors. I think they will look real pretty once they all start blooming. This spring has been rainy, so they have been watered by rain. Today is May 18th. 15th and our hollyhocks are blooming. I can see there's light pink, some bright pink, and also there's whitish color. When I planted them here, I did not amend the soil at all, and the soil in our backyard is heavy clay. And even with our soil, they're still looking beautiful and the flowers are blooming. We've had a lot of rain and wind lately, so the hollyhocks are bending over. For that purpose, I use short bamboo stick and I tie the hollyhocks to the bamboo sticks so they would be more upright. These are volunteers from seeds from hollyhocks that grew last year and dropped their seed. So once you have hollyhocks, most likely you will have them every year. And these are our black hollyhocks. You can see how they start flopping over a little bit. That's because I did not put any bamboo sticks here. The black color is not as visible as pink or white, but it's okay. They're still interesting looking hollyhocks. And if you remember, we planted one hollyhock in this place that gets only morning sun and afternoon shade, and you can see that right now the sun is going away. So this plant will be in complete shade. And you can tell that it's much shorter. It's not blooming yet at all. I don't see any signs of blossoms yet. So even in our hot climate, it's still much better to plant hollyhocks in full sun. So it's been a week and you can see that our hollyhocks have more blooms on them. They have blooms on top and on the lower part of hollyhocks. And also these white hollyhocks are opening up. I don't think we had them a week ago yet. But today, I would like to show you how we can harvest hollyhock seeds. You can see that after they are done blooming, their pods kind of turn brown and dry out a little bit. And if you open the outer skin, you can see that all the seeds are inside. Let me just collect this whole pod. And you can see that all the seeds are here. They've turned dark gray. And if they're dry, you can simply store them in a plastic bag or in a paper envelope. You can plant them in the ground right now. I can do that today. Or you can store them and plant them in the ground in the fall. Most likely they won't come up now because it's getting too hot for the seeds to germinate at this temperature. So I'll wait till September or October to plant them where I want them to grow next year. You can also share them with your friends and family. And that's how we grow hollyhocks. It's not hard at all. I actually might move my hollyhocks a little bit closer to where they get more sun, and I'll see if that helps them bloom more. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it and have a great day.